K-Rock, Mid-Atlantic Rock Reviews, MARR Rock Show. We are here with Mike from Dead Girls Academy. Welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to ask it, even though you seem to be kind of humble about it. You just performed with a broken elbow, I think, so I got to hear the story, and people are going to want to hear the story.
Well, I've been, on Warped Tour. I kept climbing on the drums and hanging from the rafters, and I was like, I'll make a deal out of this. So every day I would do that, and the crowd would like that. In Dallas, I thought I'll add a little extra. Let me add a jump kick. So I ended up missing that and falling directly on my wrist, which ended up popping my elbow and breaking it.
And you finished the show, right?
I did, actually. I finished a song and a half. Yeah. So.
Wow. So I mean, was that the worst thing that's happened to you so far as being a front man, I guess?
No, I was killed in a near fatal car accident.
Literally, died and came back.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And, the all teeth, maxillofacial surgery. Actually, I broke this arm.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So this was not as bad.
So I will say this unabashedly, man. You're one of my new favorite bands. I was telling everybody about you guys.
Oh, thank you.
And so talk a little bit about the immediate success of the band and what it means to you.
It's surreal. I mean, being inside of it, you really don't see it as much. I mean, I have a lot of people telling me oh man, you're going really fast, man. Things are happening for you really, really fast and really big. And I'm like, that's great. I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing, and music to me is just more than going to the top and getting all the money, and that all is great as well. But having kind of the artistic expression type for me, because I'm absolutely out of my mind, and I need somewhere to put it, man. And this is perfect for me.
So reflect back a little bit on Van's Warped Tour. What was that like, and some of the high points of that tour?
Well, it was rocky at the start for us. We're a brand new band. Warped Tour is basically a place for bands to go see, fans see their favorite bands they've always listened to. Especially the last one's very nostalgic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, I got to see the main stage bands. So we were on the alley stage, and it's all the upcoming bands Palais Royale and all these bands. And it was rocky at the start, but as we kept going, it kept snowballing, and the crowds kept getting bigger and bigger. By Salt Lake, I think, closer to Texas, we have pretty decent crowds, so I was pretty stoked on that. And I think we are, as far as reaching younger fan base, they're starting to realize who we are now and who I was in the past, and they're putting everything together. So it's been great, man. It's been great. I'm very thankful.
I'm trying hard not to put a style on this band because it's really tough to do. You guys have a really new, cool sound. You mix several genres, don't you, kind of in your band?
Yes, we do.
Talk a little bit about that.
I mean, when we were writing, I wrote the record with Ronnie Radke. He had a vision for it after hearing my voice, and we kind of went, in that direction where he saw it fit. Because I wrote all these Vampires records and 3 or 4 different bands records over the years. I'm just spent, man. Creatively, I was just yes, please, tell me what you see in me, and he put it together, and I can't be more happy. It's just blending that, I want to say a pop punk, classic rock, has a little 80s vibe in it. We're getting a lot of that, and I'm appreciative of that. And of course, active rock. So putting it all together, it's cool. It's a cool combination. I think kids are digging it.
Talk a little bit about your guitar player, man. I was really impressed with him today, and you made a little fun of him on stage. But talk a little bit about him.
Not make fun of Matty because he's so out of his mind. I mean, he's one of the best guitar players I've ever seen. He's one of those artistic minds, where he pieces things together mathematically. But if you were to have a conversation with him, there's no way in hell you would put that together. And that's what's so amazing. He's like Rain Man with the guitars,
There's a lot of guitar players like that kind of. So, of all the songs that have been out now, and the album's out right now, what is the fan favorite? When you guys play, what's the one when you're up there and you're like, wow, that one grabbed the fans the most?
It's been Cannibal. Left field.
Wow.
All the fans on Warped Tour, they were screaming and shouting for that song, singing that song. I was like, really? In the beginning, I was like, this song, I love this song. It's one of my favorites, and no one else, the label and everyone, that just kind of got shoved over. And then all of a sudden, now it's becoming a fan favorite, so I'm stoked on that.
So you guys use, you got 3 guys singing vocals, and I've always wondered this about a band. How do you actually write backing vocals? Like when you're writing a song, and how do you plan what people are going to sing for an amateur like me?
Well, I mean, more or less, you're not even thinking about it. You're filling in the gaps. As far as harmonies go, you want it to be as big as possible. So in order to do that live, you either need to have tracks or you need to have actual musicians singing it. I'd rather have all of that. You know what I mean? We have 3 vocalists. We also have a track as well going, so you're getting like 4 harmonies instead of a robotic 2. So I think it's people are very stoked on that. As far as writing like ad libs and stuff like that, it's just filling in the gaps, making it melodic. It's not really thought out to the point where it's like, you will be singing that part. For me, I'm the only member of my band. Most of my band, are just touring musicians
with
me.
Yeah.
So it was more of ideas, how will I pull it off? And luckily for me, I ran into those, Jesse and Benji to pull it off for me.
So what do you think the future is with that? You kind of are the vision, the man behind the band. What do you think is going to happen in the next year? Are you looking to hire on permanent guys, or people going to listen to this and audition, or what's going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, I've had some permanent guys that have stuck with me for a while. So Maddie, the guitar player, Benji's been with me for a while. You never know in the world we live in. It's so transient nowadays. We're waiting for rock to come back. We're waiting for that big boom again. Waiting for the rock and roll people on planes instead of P. Diddy, instead of Drake. And I love all that shit. But I mean, as far as like rock goes, it's still up in the air. And I'm just waiting for that moment to come back. And I think everyone will be really pleasantly surprised and want to stick around and play music. At this point in time, people are more concerned about, I hate to say it, more concerned about making a living.
Yeah.
Feeding their families.
Understood.
And rather than playing Garage Band 2003. So.
That is tough. Hey, when I listen to the record, man, all the way down at the very end, there's a ballad, Far Away. Tell me about that tune.
I'm happy you brought that up. That'll be our next video.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I've been trying to push to get that out. I really like it. It's just like, heart, tugs at the heartstrings a little bit. And everyone that's heard it, I have a girl in Scotland, she's far away. And those things to her, she cried during when she heard it, and I was like, okay. So I think it's gonna be a big one for us. We don't put out ballads. I don't put out ballads.
I was a little surprised, honestly, because when I first got the couple singles that came out, listened to it, got your vibe, and then I got to the end, I'm like, oh, what is this?
You do like it though?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have asked you about it if I didn't.
I appreciate that. Yeah. We were actually playing that on the European tour we did with Falling Reverse Emotionless, and that went over really well.
I was going to ask if you ever played it live. Like,
we have, yeah.
You're I don't want to call you a festival band, but you kind of by default almost became a festival band, didn't you?
It's crazy. I'll be honest, festival life, I like it. Trailers and catering right on spot. And what do you need? You know what I mean? I love that. Warped Tour is like one of the hardest tours in the world. Not for me, obviously. I'm sitting in the bus and just watching TV. But for everybody around me, it's
your manager's looking at us kind of funny there, yeah.
It's funny, but yeah.
Listening to that song, do you guys ever do anything acoustic? Like, you got the radio show tour and all that kind of stuff in the morning shows and all that. Do you do acoustic stuff?
Well, we just did one today. In the radio show today. We did,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was here at the fest, so I missed it. But
not a big deal. We're pretty good at it. We put it together pretty quickly, and we knew we had to do it for radio, and luckily enough, we can all sing, which is a big deal.
I'd
singing
say
on key is just like, whoa, you can do that? It's like, yeah. When I was talking to the label, that was their biggest concern. They're like, we've done this in the past, but it didn't turn out well. I'm like, no, I promise you, it will be on key. So it's funny. But
so they didn't listen to you before they said, they took your word for it.
Right. Well, our radio guy actually came out to Earth Day Birthday when we did that acoustic thing over there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he's like, all right. And that was the first time, to be clear, that we've ever done acoustic. Was there. They're like, go do it. We're like, okay. And we practiced like 3 times, and we're like, we can do it. So I'm happy about it.
So talk about Rockfest. I got to give you guys kudos, man. Like, you had an early set. It is what it is. But, like, you guys brought it. I mean, like...
Thank you.
Because I was in the front row, so I was, like, when I'm in the front row at a set like that, I think about what's behind me, or I don't think about it. Like, I feel like the crowd would be going nuts, How do you, like, pump yourself up no matter what the time set is for you guys?
It's weird. I've been doing this for 14 years. I've played in front of nobody. I played in front of, like, 10,000 people. I mean, to me, I'm kind of like a great white shark. When it goes to bite, they put their eyes back and they're like that. I don't even see the front. My eyes go up to the sky. That's why I wear the sunglasses, so convenient, because I don't see anything. So it's just like I'm playing in front of how many people?
However many, yeah. But that's a good thing, because that's one of the things we always look for. We cover music all around the country, and we love a band that brings the same set, no matter whether it's 2 or 20,000.
Of course. I mean, people, even the 3 people that, up front, came over to me during acoustic set, were like, oh, that was amazing. That alone, they tell someone else, and it snowballs. If I went up there and were like, no one's here, screw me. But people just notice that, and it's just not cool.
So do you already have another album in the tank? I always like to ask bands that, because
No.
I know you've got the one out there now, but you're already thinking ahead, or?
Oh man, if you were in the studio with me when we were recording this album, you'd know why I have nothing in the tank right now, man. So I mean, Ronnie was hard to work with when it came down to he's like, we're gonna, he wanted what he wanted out of it, and he made me better because of it. I became a better singer and a better musician. Believe it or not, the dude's really good at singing. He's really good at putting things together. And I'm not just saying that. I'm serious. So he's perfectionist. So it took a lot out of me. We recorded it in 2 parts. The first 6 songs got assigned to Victory. Victory said, well, we want an LP. We had to go back in later and record that. So it was just I'm just very tired, man, of recording. So I'm hoping that after these tours are done, we might start dabbling.
Do you think you'll do a club kind of tour, or you thinking? Because I feel like festival season has to end at some point, right?
Yeah.
And are you planning on going on tour on the club circuit kind of thing for folks that want to see you that can't come to the big festivals?
You know what? It's a saturated world out there with the touring world, and the thing is that we're trying to figure out where we fit in all that, and we have a routing tour back with Adelita's Way. I know them because one of my ex-fiancés was in their video, and she blabbed about it 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, I know that band. And we had the opportunity to tour back with them because they're playing Incarceration too. They're like,
right.
We got to get back.
Yeah, it's a good festival for you guys.
We'll go. Yeah, that's going to be cool. And we're routing back with that. It's a club tour. And from what the ticket sales look pretty decent, so I'm excited about that.
So, last thing before I let you go here, what's the worst stereotype about LA bands? You're an LA band, Yep. Is there a lot of bad stereotypes out there about folks coming out of there?
Oh man, yeah, of course. You're either a band in LA or you're telling people you're in a band in LA. I would say there's 5% of bands in LA. 5%. I've been there for 10 years.
Did you come from there? Did you grow up there? Or you moved out there to be in a band?
It was New York and Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I moved there, I was like, oh man, the mecca of bands. But no, that doesn't exist there. There is no LA scene. Doesn't exist. We played a Viper Room show just recently for our CD release, and it was people were energized. We sold that place out, and people are just like, wow, this is cool. This is what it was like. This is what it, I guess sort of what it was like. And there's not a lot of that. It's the same stupid band that plays the whiskey.
Yeah.
They're going nowhere. They tour maybe 3 or 4 dates, and there's a lot of that. And they think they're rock stars, and yeah, that gives us all a bad name. But you can actually determine who's doing something in LA and who's not. But for anyone that's listening out there, definitely don't be fooled.
Well, I appreciate taking time with us, man, especially at Rockfest. It's so busy here for you guys. I know how busy the day is for you all. So thanks so much. You literally, no joke, I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting here with you. You're one of my favorite new bands. I told a couple people that out in the crowd.
Thank you.
And we're rooting for you, and we'll keep in touch with you. So hats off to you, man.
Well, I really appreciate you taking time with me and saying, what you just said. It means a lot, so thank you so much.